Hello and welcome to Gen Con News. This is a special segment. My name is Kristen Jensen and this is the venerable Mike Boozer. And we are here today to talk to you about Gen Con 2020 badge registration! Woo! And the Seahawks, because Mike is Seahawks out today. It's Blue Friday here in Seattle. So we're Seahawks friendly office, I would say.
Very.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Again, like I said, we're going to go through badge registration today. So if you're new or if you're just super excited for Gen Con, you are in the right place. Mike,
okay.
Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Today we're going to cover the basics of how to get a badge for Gen Con. The first thing you need to know is you have to have an account, and you need to have an account on our site at gencon.com. To get an account, you can go to the Attend button and go to account information, or just hit the sign in button, which will be up on the right here, but I'm already signed in as Christopher Walken, one of my favorites. Today you'd go to account. I'm going to show you account information right here. And as you can see under account information, the first thing to do is create your account. So you just need to go and create an account and have an account on gencon.com. Once you have an account, you'll be able to go and buy a badge, and we'll get to that pretty soon. The next thing I'd like to do is show you what kind of badges we have at Gen Con and what's available for you to buy. So also under the Attend button, you can see badge information down here, and I'll just click on that. And then you can see the badge information, the types of badges, and what the badge prices are for 2020. Our most popular badge, of course, is our 4-day badge, and that gets you in Gen Con on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the show.
But not to mention the block party on Wednesday night
yes.
as well.
Yes.
That's badge free. You don't need a badge for that.
Yeah, we have lots of events going on Wednesday as well, so you're free to come and enjoy all of those.
Enjoy the festivities with us.
So we also have 1-day badges available. We do not have any other multiple day badges, just the 4-day. But if you want to just show up and come on Thursday or Friday, we have badges for that. Saturday and Sunday, we have a special price for badges that is only $15. Come and enjoy it. You can come and enjoy the show on that day. We also have a trade day badge, which is a badge for people who are retailers or who are in education or librarians, and that has its own special day and events going on. And you can learn more about that by looking up Trade Day on our site as well. We have a VIG program, which is unfortunately sold out every year, but we have that, and you can look up those badges and that information up as well, or email vig@gencon.com for any more information on that. So those are the different types of badges that we have available. The next thing you'll want to do once you have an account and you know what kind of badge you want, you'll want to go to the Buy a Badge or Get a Badge link, and that is up here on the left here. It just says Get a Badge. So Christopher Walken has signed in, and Christopher wants a badge. So he goes to the Get a Badge page, and then it has what badges are available. And so he just needs to select what kind of badge.
Really quick, Mike, here's a question I have. I'm just pointing out in the distance.
Okay.
There's nothing over there. But imagine with me.
Okay.
Why do you need a Gen Con account to buy a badge?
You need an account to buy a badge so that you can use that account to get other things as well, like tickets and things like that. So if you want to, your account is kind of your gateway to Gen Con. It also, and once you have a badge on your account, then you can go buy tickets for any of the events, the many thousands of events at Gen Con.
I think we almost had 20,000 last year. Is that? Derek, you can either nod your head or, yep, more than 20,000, over 20,000. So if you've never been to Gen Con before, we don't do generic badges. Your badge is your badge. It will have your name on it and a very specific barcode that is tied with your account. And we do this because like Mike said, we have several, like thousands and thousands of events that you can do at Gen Con. And we hate lines at Gen Con. I think I can say that. Like, we hate lines, and we try to avoid them as much as possible. Sometimes a line happens, right? And we try to get through it as quickly as we can. But for all of our events, you have a registered specific spot. You have a seat at that event. So once our event system goes live in May, you'll be able to register your spot at an event. So we've got this whole account system that then ties into that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then your badge also has a barcode on it. And we have an e-ticketing initiative, as many of you know, and we use that code to make sure you get into your e-ticketed event. So every badge is an individual, and every badge has a connection to you. Also, if you lose your badge or something like that, we can, and it's put in the lost and found, we can find it easily for you. So those are lots of the different reasons we have that. So let's get back to the types of badges here and buying one. As you can see, I didn't explain some of these, but you have also a child wristband, and I'll go into that a little more in depth later. But that's for a child to attend Gen Con and just have the wristband on, so if they get lost or separated from you, that we can find you pretty easily. So Christopher is gonna go for 4 days, so he hits select, and then he is going for himself, so he puts his name down, and then that badge appears here, and then he hits checkout. We're not going to go through the whole process of checking out, but it has the badge listed. We also have, or we don't have, but Indianapolis has a tax on all of our badges that they charge us. So that tax is 10%, and it's added automatically to your price. So the total price for the 4-day badge is $124. And then, easily enough, next step is billing, and he goes and enters his billing information, his credit card information to get
pretty straightforward,
connected,
right?
To get his badge. So that's pretty much simply the simple and easy way for you to get your badge. You can buy your badge for yourself. You also can buy a badge for other people, and those people are people who are your friends or your family. And that process is a little more complicated depending on if you have children or not have children. But for Christopher, let's say he wants to buy a badge for his friend. And let me show, his friend is Barbara Strashdan. Let me show you how Christopher and Barbara are connected. So Christopher here has his profile, and he has his packets and transactions. His badge will appear under his transactions page, as well as his tickets, and his packets will have his badge as well, and that information. But if you go down to My Friends and Family, that's the place where you would add someone to connect to your account, so you could buy badges or tickets for them. So click on My Friends and Family, and you can see that Barbara Streisand is already a friend. But if he wants to add a friend, he needs to click here and then add the friend's email address. Now the friend has to have an account at gencon.com, and they need to know, and Christopher would need to know that friend's email address. He'd enter it, he'd confirm and then he'd add them. Then that will pop up on his friends list, friends and family, and they would have to accept that. Mm-hmm. So once he's connected to that person, as he is to Barbara, he can then buy badges and tickets for Barbara or anyone else that has a Gen Con account. If Barbara wants to buy a badge for Christopher, Barbara has to do the opposite thing from her side. She needs to connect to Christopher. It doesn't go both ways once you've connected.
Oh, that's good information.
Yeah, so Barbara would need to go in and add Christopher so she could buy things for Christopher. Just a piece of information that we get questions about all the time. So that's how you add your friends, and then you can buy any badges or any tickets for those friends for the convention.
Now, do you need to be connected with someone as a friend in our system to buy them a badge?
You do. You do, unless you have access to their account. A lot of people will have kids that they have access to their accounts,
sure.
And they have they'll have an account in the system, and then they'll just go in and buy on their own. They can log in and buy. But you have to have an account to buy a badge for yourself or for someone else.
Okay.
So then once you've done that, you have access, obviously. Now, if you have minors or kids who don't have accounts, or you don't want to have an account on Gen Con, there is a way to do that as well, and that's a little more complicated. But you would go back to get a badge, and Christopher would say he wanted to select a 4-day badge, and since the person doesn't have an account, it's a minor, you would hit the Someone Else button. It asks for an email address, and that's to look up somebody on the account. But your minor does not have an email address associated, so you would hit the Don't Know button. Just like I did. Oh,
yep,
there we go. And once you hit that, you'll see a first and last name. You enter the first and last name of the child and click Find. So for here, let's just put Mike.
It's auto-filled for you.
Boozer. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That's okay. We'll find him.
You're Christopher Walken's son.
Right. So as you can see, Mike Boozer already exists here, and that's why I use my own name. So these aren't the right Mike Boozers, because this is someone's son named Mike Boozer. I'm sure there's one out there. So you would hit none of the above.
Sure.
So these are already accounts in our system that might have already been made for your child, or or minor. If you're an uncle or someone who's buying in it, it's already been connected. So you hit none of the above, and this will create a new person. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes.
You get to create people.
Right. And so now I've created this Mike Boozer here, and it's connected, and I've got my badge already for him. So I can now buy that badge for them as well.
So now why would you want to, if you've got a minor, why would you want to buy a badge that way for them versus just getting them a child wristband?
Sure. That's our next topic.
Great.
Awesome.
Perfect. Almost like I knew.
So children 10 years of age and younger do not need a badge to attend Gen Con. We would like you to get a child wristband, which is the same process down here under child wristband, select. And then I would have selected for Mike Boozer because Mike is, he's 10 years old or 9 years old.
Okay.
So you can go to Gen Con with a child with a wristband, and there are events you can get called kids events, and you can sign up for any of those events at Gen Con with those. If you have a child who is underage and
older than 10.
Older than 10, or older than 10, you need a badge for them.
Okay.
But if you have a child at underage who wants to attend any other non-kids events, you need a badge. You need to buy a badge for that.
Okay,
child.
so my 10-year-old, maybe he's or she, they're a mature,
right,
10-year-old or more mature than their age group.
Yeah.
And you want them to be able to attend a D&D session with you because you guys love playing D&D at home. So D&D is a regular type event, right? And what Mike is saying is we have events that are specifically tagged as kids events. And so if you've got a child wristband, the only type of event you can get into is an event tagged as a kids event. So you want to play, D&D or whatever it is you want to play that's not a kids event with your 10-year-old or 9-year-old or 8-year-old or whatever. You will want to buy them a full badge so then they can be granted access into the full adult event list.
Yeah, so a 4-day, but alternatively, if that event is on Saturday, and you are in that the child is only going to attend events on Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, you could alternatively buy him a Saturday badge or a Sunday badge
instead of getting the full 4-day. Right.
So
makes sense.
And so that's a little tricky, but that's how our events work, and that's how badges work for children. So that's, I think we've covered that. I think the next thing I want to cover is the mailing and having badges mailed to you or having badges available at will call. So as you go through the process here and you purchase, you will have a pop-up. You'll have once you purchase, it'll ask you if you want to have your packet your badges and tickets shipped to you, USPS. We only ship in the United States, by the way. Or if you want to pick up your badge at will call. We highly encourage you to have your packet shipped to you. It gets it into your hands well before the convention. You get all your tickets and badges that you've ordered before the ship to me date, which is June 14th. Anything you've ordered after that will be in will call, but everything that you've ordered before will be shipped to you. So it's $10, your whole package shipped to you. Anything on your account that you've bought is shipped to you. That means badges for your kids, badges for other people, any tickets for other people, or tickets for your kids. All of those will be shipped. So if you're a family or you're a group and you're buying for your whole group, one packet, $10, gets it all in your hands.
Super convenient. And will call is one of those places that generally does end up with a line. I said a few minutes ago that we hate lines at Gen Con, but as people line up at will call, it's something we really like to avoid, because it's just like no one likes to stand in lines, right? And the folks that work at our will call do it as fast as they can. But in order to have a better experience for everyone, and honestly, it's just so convenient to get your stuff mailed to you. I would highly recommend will call, or not will call.
Not will call.
The opposite of will call. Ship.
Shipped to you. Yeah, we definitely recommend it. It's you also get a lanyard in there, your lanyards for your badges.
Yep.
And so it's really much more convenient. Just remember to pack them when you bring it, when you come to Gen Con. So that's shipping. I think the other thing to point out that's important for badges is that once you buy a badge on your account, you will have access to the housing portal. Housing opens on February 9th, I believe. So that day you will be able to go into your account and then go under housing here, my housing page, and have access there. And it doesn't have it here now as it's not open. But you will have access to the housing portal in order to get a room for yourself and some of your other guests that are on your account.
Can we talk about housing really quick? Because I think it's something that we kind of refer to in general. But maybe if someone's brand new, they're like, housing? Well, what's that? What does that mean, right? So
Sure.
I was like, you're not stupid, I know. But the housing refers to, hotel room. But so Gen Con has a specific hotel block that we coordinate with the City of Indianapolis hotels to reserve for our attendees. And we get them at a discounted rate. And we do that through our partners' queue rooms. And if you want to have a chance at getting in at one of those discounted rate hotels, that's when you would log in the housing portal on October 9th. Or October. Wow. Man, I'm lost today. I said 2030 earlier. I was like, it's Gen Con 2030. So on February 9th, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay. And the housing for Gen Con is something that we have, like Kristen said, we have a block. It is important to note that you only have access to housing if you buy a badge yourself on your own account. If you buy a badge for someone else, their account will not have access to housing. It's an important thing to note. So if you want access to housing, you really want to have it on your own account. You want to buy that badge on your own account. For every two people you have a badge on your account for, you get one access to housing. If you have 3, you get 2. 4, you get 2. 5, you get 3, for example.
To hotel rooms.
To hotel rooms, yes.
Right.
Just information that it's good to know about housing. And I think that's most of the things I want to cover for badges. I do want to show you a few links here to help you out with badges as well. And I want to mention one other thing, Pop-Up Gen Con. So right here, as we look at attend, you got Pop-Up Gen Con. Pop-Up Gen Con is a program where we have, outside of the Gen Con, the actual Gen Con in Indianapolis, where you can go to a local gaming store and play some games and get a badge there, a little Pop-Up Gen Con badge and some other things, and having a Gen Con, a little mini Gen Con experience at at there. Those badges are $5. They don't have anything to do with Gen Con in Indianapolis, but they are independent stores, and you can see more information on the FAQ here under Pop-Up Gen Con and FAQ. Another good resource for you is the attendee information or attendee FAQ, which I'll click on right here real quickly, and you can see the drop down, and it's got lots of good information about badges, what is Gen Con, where is it held, all the information, account information, badge registration information you want. It's a great resource, so I encourage you to go there as well. I showed you the badge information page. That explains how to make an account, how much badges are, how to reset your password, what priority mailing and will call is, and all kinds of information there. Additionally, I want to just point out we fairly new. We have electronic ticketing that is going on, which are tickets that are connected to your badge, but for events. And we'll be doing more and more of those. So if you want to learn more about that, you can learn about it here under electronic ticketing. And then, of course, if you want to get a hotel, you've got the housing and travel guide, which you should look at, and the hotel information, which shows you what hotels are available and where. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, trade day information and what that's all about.
So a lot of the information you're going to find is under the very left-hand tab there at the top of the website, gencon.com, under the Attend tab. And it's going to have a plethora of information for you. If you have questions beyond that, you can always email customer service at gencon.com as well, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. I just want to mention something about e-ticketing really quick. If you're brand new, you may not know that we just talked about events a few minutes ago, and every event has a ticket, right? You have your place at that event. Just like if you were to buy a ticket, to go to a play or to go to the orchestra or whatever, a concert or a Seahawks game or any other sporting event. You have your paper ticket, right? Or you have some places give you the option of a ticket on your phone that maybe you can scan. So our electronic ticketing is we're trying to switch over all of our paper tickets eventually someday in the future to tickets that are actually on your badge. Or they're technically on your account. So when our event hosts, they'll check you into that event simply by scanning your badge. And we'll have more information on that coming up in the future. But if you came to Gen Con last year, it's very much the same. You just hold up your badge, you get it scanned, and you're in. If you're brand new, so what you'll do for events is that you'll hand your paper ticket. If it's an event with a paper ticket, you'll hand it to the event host. So those are just the two kind of tickets, just to clear up any confusion if you're brand new.
Yeah? All right. That's it for me. Unless if you have some questions.
I think we covered everything in general. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to pop in and chat right now. We're here for you. This is your time. I know attending Gen Con, I know my first time was a little bit overwhelming, just because there's so much to do, right? And it's something we kind of pride ourselves on, right? Like Gen Con there's no possible way to see and do everything at Gen Con your first year. And while that may seem a little bit overwhelming, it's actually really fun because you have the option of planning out your entire weekend at Gen Con, or you can go and just check out anything. And the great thing is that you'll always be playing games and you'll meet new people and you'll learn something new, and probably you'll buy some really cool things too. So there will always be something for you to do at Gen Con.
So true.
But I do understand that it's a little overwhelming because it's like, oh my gosh, you need to have an account and a badge, and there's over 20,000 events. What? Right? But it ends up being very, very fun, and honestly, I can't wait. It's that time of year we start getting super excited. It's only January, but gosh, it feels already like spring, doesn't it? In some ways, I think we'll have to wait through a long winter and a long spring
in Seattle
and a long summer until Gen Con is here. But we got 188 days left. No one's counting. We're counting until Gen Con is here. So again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them in chat now. Very happy to answer them for you. Otherwise, you can head on over to the Attend tab on gencon.com, and there's just so many questions, so many answers on there for you to get taken care of. And if you think of something later, customer service at gencon.com. Well, Mike, I don't see any questions.
Then we're done.
You don't have anything else for us?
I have
any
nothing.
nuggets of wisdom? Have fun. I think that's my nugget of wisdom.
I think my only nugget of wisdom is that if you're going to attend the show, I would highly recommend you have your badge mailed to you and your tickets.
Official recommendation.
The will call lines are, it's hard to know how long they will be, and you'll have a better experience if you have your stuff in hand when you get there. You don't have to wait an hour or two in line, to get all that. So I just recommend that.
Do we want to go over will call really quickly? If you do happen to select will call, or if you buy your badge later than the ship to me deadline, tell us a little about what will call is like.
Sure. Will call is just where you pick up your badges and tickets. It's a large registration area in the front, front end registration. It's open 24 hours a day, which is really kind of the nice thing about it.
Yep.
It begins on the Wednesday at noon, Wednesday of the convention week at noon. It opens then, and it's open 24 hours a day all the way through Sunday at about 3 p.m. So
you can come at noon on Wednesday and get your badge, or
you can come at 1 a.m.
You can come at 1 a.m. in your pajamas and pick up your badge. We're here for you. We got you. So a lot of people choose to line up early, and that's when we get a big old line. But again, like I said, relax, kick your feet up. If you just got into Indianapolis, go have a beer at the block party if you're over 21 years of age, that is. And then, have dinner, get settled into your hotel room, and then head on over to will call, I'd say. I think that's a much more friendly time. Before you go to bed, go pick up your badge. Otherwise, you can be in line for longer than anyone wants to be in line, really.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, so this Sunday is badge registration. It's January 26th. It opens at noon Eastern time. Just make sure it's Eastern, and that's when you will be able to buy badges. We will have plenty of badges, so if you buy a little later, I'm sure you'll be fine.
You'll be okay. Yep. Don't worry. Okay, so we talked about creating an account. So just to review, if you come in late, to buy a badge on Sunday at noon Eastern. It opens on noon Eastern. So if this is your first time attending Gen Con, don't worry. You don't need to be on exactly at noon Eastern time or 9 a.m. Pacific. We will have badges. It'll be okay. But, obviously if you're excited to go ahead and hop on and get your badge. But first you'll need an account. So you'll want to sign up on gencon.com, and you'll see it on the upper right-hand side to create an account. After you create an account, you'll be able to buy a badge. And from there, it's very straightforward, just like any other purchasing. You have your badge in your cart and you go through your shipping process. And then beyond that, you get to choose whether you want to have your badges and event tickets, when event tickets go on sale, mailed to you through USPS if you live inside the U.S., or picked up at will call. So if you're an international attendee, you will have to go through the will call process. So let's make it easier on our international attendees by having will call or having ship to me selected. And that, again, we highly recommend it. It's only $10, and that's like USPS priority shipping. Right, so
it's priority shipping.
Has a tracking number and everything.
Yeah,
right?
Has a tracking number you can look on your My Packets page for once they start shipping, which is a good point. Also, you'll be able. They will not deliver it if there's no one there, so it needs to be signed for. So, and if you're not home, they'll try to deliver it again. Otherwise, you can definitely pick it up at your post office for a week or so after that. But you'll want to kind of check when we start shipping in mid-June here. About the 16th, 17th is when we'll start shipping. Usually takes 3 to 5 days to get to you. We do ship alphabetically, so if you have an A name, your packet is most likely to get to you before anyone else. If you have a Z name,
it'll be a little bit later.
It'll be a little bit later, but we'll have plenty of time to ship them.
Yep, and then so you'll keep an eye on your tracking number, and again, we do it signature required because we value your Gen Con badges, you value your Gen Con badges, and we don't want them just left on your doorstep or in your mailbox or in a place where a doorstep package thief can go and go, hey, what's this? Yoink. We want them to have them securely in your hands one way or another. So either you're home, and like Mike said, if you're not home with the first delivery, USPS will typically try to deliver again, just like any other signature required package. But beyond that, it'll be available at your local USPS facility for pickup. So again, I honestly, I highly recommend Will Call. Just stick that packet first thing in your suitcase.
Yes, you did it again.
Gosh dang it. Every time. USPS for your badges, for your tickets. Avoid Will Call at all costs.
Yes. Hammer that home.
I'm sending a confusing message here, and I apologize for that. But again, if no one has any question, we do have a question. So is there a process to buy on behalf of other people in your group, and how does shipping the badges work in that scenario?
Yeah, I think we answered that, but we'll go over it again. You can add them as a friend on your friends list, and then you'll be able to purchase for them. If you purchase on your account for that friend, anything, and you have USPS shipping, anything you purchase, including your friend's badge and their tickets, will be mailed to you.
Right.
So they will not go to your friend if you're purchasing on your account. If your friend purchases on their account, then their badge and tickets will go directly to them. Each account is separate, so on your account, when you're purchasing for a friend, you're purchasing on your account, so everything on that account that's purchased will be shipped to you.
Yep, perfect. All right, Coach Sheba, I hope that answers your question. Let us know if it doesn't. And again, if you'll have any questions that we don't cover on this stream today, check out under the Attend tab on gencon.com. There's lots of questions and answers there, or email customer service at gencon.com, or you can always hit me up on Twitter. I'm available not 24 hours a day. I was about to say 24 hours a day. That's a lie. I am not available 24 hours a day. But I will do my best to get back to you within a few hours, as long as you're not tweeting at me at 2 a.m. in the morning. So regular business hours, I'll get back to you with your question or with an answer to your question. Otherwise, like I said, customer service at gencon.com, or check out the Attend tab. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate it today. Around here, we're getting really excited for Gen Con. Again, it's still 188 days away, but it is only 188 days away. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Our next stream is going to be the Brothers Murph on. Nope. Our next stream is on Sunday. Great. My crew is telling me yes, and we're having a fun gaming stream. Yes. Great. That you'll want to tune in for. Just have fun, enjoy the badge registration process, celebrate the opening of badge registration, and that will start at 8:30 Pacific, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Is that right? No? Yes? 8 a.m. Okay. I'm almost there. I am so close. That's going to start. So badge red stream Sunday morning, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we're just going to be hanging out, playing games, answering any questions you have, and you know what? Just celebrating the opening of badge registration. Perfect. I nailed it. Finally. I figured if I go through enough information, eventually I'll get the right thing.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
This is just a numbers game at this point. Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Again, have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye, everyone.